Thank you once again for joining me in this discussion today about resilience, the beauty of presence, and yes, process models for life. That's from the book. But for this discussion today, that is still the viable overarching message for the book and what I distilled as content for these 820 episodes. However, I'm going to say again today, the new topic or the new way to relate to you that book is still the resilience of beauty of producing. Or better stated, resilience, the beauty of presence and production. I'm going to call this like part 2. I believe I already touched on this in maybe part 1 on the positive perspective of resilience, just in general, but definitely the overall guidance of the book itself. So I want to refine the resilience, the beauty of production and producing from what has already been created for us here. Yes, we can produce good, bad, or indifferent, high quality, low quality, but really don't create anything. I know people out there in the internet world talk about content creators. I cringe at that because, again, hear me out. We don't create anything. What is here for us to take on as resources or remix them or put them in a different combination? Yes, but we are producing. We're not creating anything. And whether or not you accept that definition about do we produce or do we create, I believe we shall put beauty into all that we do and observe. That's why, as the centering point of the book, I want to get you to ask yourself that question: what drives you? I want you to identify what is your beauty. What is your purpose? What is your message? What is your voice? What is it that you were brought here to do uniquely? Because we're all different. There's no one here who is exactly the same. We all were brought here for a purpose. You might think it's just for entertainment. I don't think so. I would counter that with, we're brought here to produce something. You have to decide what that is. I have to find out what mine is. But even though I'm suggesting that we all have beauty or apply beauty in all that we do and observe, what about those not so pleasant items, those events or moments of production that we tend to not glamorize or actively present from awareness because we didn't like what the output was? Over the past decade or so, some pundits and politicians talk about that carbon footprint thing. You've heard about that? Purportedly to reduce those nasty emissions. In a previous podcast, I posited another different viewpoint. The garbage footprint that we all should take note of in terms of personal responsibility and accountability and awareness, and then taking action. So, I'm not asking you to adopt my philosophy on this, the whole garbage footprint thing. But I do want to tie that in to the beauty of production. While we all can only produce from what has been afforded to us in terms of creation, certainly we mostly desire to produce good, positive stuff. But as in any process of production, you will have waste, overproduction, errors, inefficiencies, even on the final output for the day. Like in cooking a meal, building a car, writing a book, working your job, having a child. We will also produce some carnage and waste in that production. Still all good in terms of the intention, in terms of beauty and the lessons in viewing all sides and aspects of the process. the action of your best in that moment. However, there are no do-overs. Let's put that as the caveat. No do-overs, no mulligans, but definitely waste and garbage that I produce and you produce every day. Either knowingly or unknowingly. We all produce good stuff, but we do also have the collateral damage called garbage. Just want to bring this notion to your attention and for you to consider. As also the major thrust in my theory on resilience that I believe that each of us share individually and then collectively in a thing called community. I propose and intend to apply more courage over vanity in my daily tasks and challenges. More courage meaning more confidence and humility over vanity, ego, and fear. Again, that's what I propose to myself in the morning before I start out into the day, and then have to check in and do that in progress review during the day. Could be at work, could be in the car, could be in traffic, could be on the golf course, could be just walking through a store. Still applies. Are you maintaining the focus, that gauge on more courage than vanity in any given moment? Similarly, I propose to you to build on your resilience through the beauty of production with less waste and garbage in your process. Hey, think of it this way. Producing less carry-on baggage than you have to pay for on your continuing journey. See, that is a win-win. It makes sense even in a casual observation or a routine exercise. Less carry-on baggage, less to pay for. You take only what you need for your trip. But if you trip and fall, you got to get back up. Remember, another key caveat or key pointer in the introduction to the book about resilience, the beauty of presence and production, is about, yes, you must learn to fall and fall to learn. We're not here to stumble and give up and stay there. It's always about moving forward. Moving myself forward, moving you forward, moving our perspectives forward, your ideas forward, moving my observations forward, your viewpoints forward. And then communicating them forward, never looking backwards, never looking to the future, but the forwardness is in this present moment. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll get back to it at another time. Until then, stay present, stay current, and remember, it's always 8:20.